I didn't know y'all were watching. Hi there, how you doing? This is Jackson Burns, Redneck Archaeologist. Just walking through into my garage, one of the world's junkiest garages, but hey, I had to have a junkie because that's the way I know where everything's at. Anyhow, I'm here today to show you the implements that stole the West or won the West, however you want to look at it, whichever side you're on. We're going to look at some various items, weaponry or whatever, that was used just to get our guys across the Great Expansion, the Great Western Expansion. As I showed you earlier, I had found this wagon tongue on my family's ranch in Oklahoma with no wood on it. Of course, it's all rotted off. This is probably, I'm guessing we're looking at around 1870s, 1880s for this wagon tongue. We have, whenever you use these things, there's different ways of hooking on to your horses, and these are things that's been found in Texas and various other places that go with this, but it's not with this. It's a different thing. It's a different place, a different, possibly even a different era. Yeah, different guy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking to you about this stuff. Anyhow, I know what I'm talking about here, but I don't know what I'm doing. So it's a different world. A different world in my world. Oh, well, whenever they got the horses and the buggies and all that, they had to use a whip. And the whip, we know what a lot of you people do with that whip nowadays. Anyhow, this is the handle of the whip. Here, go ahead. Whip me. No, you won't. No, never mind. You will. Anyhow, this is a like a 12-foot long whip. I have several of them, different kinds. Use this for whipping the horses to get them going. Usually, you didn't whip the horses because that's not only does that look bad on yourself for whipping your horses like that, but it's also bad for your horses, and they could break them down. So when the whip goes out, and the very tip of it, the tang or whatever it's called, I'm not so certain what that's called, but the little tip of the whip, whenever it goes out and breaks the sound barrier, and it makes that pop, that loud noise, that's what scares the horses. So you don't actually hit the horses. It's pow, like that above them. Here, on the other hand, for the other end of the horses, whenever you're riding, are Mexican Raw Spurs. One of the most inhumane spurs ever invented by man for any beast or animal, and they used these on horses. Take a good gander at that. What do you think about those? I think everybody that used these should have them used on them first. Okay, to continue on, here is a 36 caliber cap and ball. By cap and ball, we mean that they didn't have cartridges, but it had, you would have to load gunpowder into this, then you would load your ball into it, and then you would press it down with this little thing to make sure that the ball and everything's compressed in there, compacted to make it shoot out. And then you would take it, and on this end, on these little nipples, it's called little nipples, you would put a cap on them, and you would have 6 caps on these. And so you had to have 6 balls with gunpowder loaded into this end, smashed down with this little thingadilly, this little lever, the jack, and you would have to load the caps on this end. So the way to fire this would have been to been like this. You pulled it back, fired it, and it released, and then you would have to hold it up to cock it. That way this would rotate, the cylinder would rotate, and the expended cap will fall out. If not, your gun will jam if you shoot it like this. So in the movies, if you see anybody with a cap and ball gun, that doesn't have cartridges in it, shooting it like this, fanning it, or repeating it like so, did not work in real life. It has to be cocked up like this. That's why you see a lot of the old pictures, the old drawings of the gunfighters. They have one pistol up and the other one out shooting. So it's boom, 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 boom. That was to get rid of the caps. Keep that in mind next time you're in a black powder gunfight. Now, one of the other things about these things is you can see the sight, not much of a sight. And whenever this shot, you would see have so much black powder, they were loaded with black powder, you would have so much black powder, you couldn't see the other guy over here. So you never knew who you were shooting at. So if you were really good at ducking, you know, you might survive that gunfight. Here we are with a little Stevens Sure Shot. This was given to a lot of kids back in the Old West. This is an 1890 model. And this is a 22 lever action. We put a 22 in here, single shot, cock it, fire it, boom, like that. Single shot hunting rifle. A lot of kids used it. Here we have, oh, I'm sorry, this is 1898, I believe it is, 1896, 1898 model. This is 1890 model, shotgun, 12 gauge. Not sure who, yeah, this is a, I don't know, this is another one. Yeah, 1898 model shooting gun, 12 gauge. That's me. Come and get it, boys. So, here we are on some implements. In 1894, there was a really cool gun that was made, which I happen to have one. That was my grandfather's, and it is famous, or one of the famous, Winchester 1894. Beautiful gun. You can see, well made from both ends. Let's make sure it's not loaded. No shells, no bullets. No bullets. 1894 Winchester. Beautiful gun. Now this is the next gun that was made after the 1873 Winchester. This is a Cannonball. This is a very rare item as far as historically being possibly, or what is said to be, one of the cannonballs that was abandoned around Texarkana, going in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, of the twin sisters of the two cannons who came to the aid of General Sam Houston in the Battle of Independence. For your viewing pleasure. Jackson Burns, Redneck Archaeologist.